I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, the budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government to really compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us on the program Property Doctor. Here we talk about the acquisition of properties, the maintenance and management of properties generally. It's your right to be happy and enjoy your buildings. It doesn't matter whether you are a property owner or just a property user. You can connect with us on Facebook and on Instagram at Property Doctor NG. You can also connect with us on YouTube like you are doing right now at Property Doctor NG and on Twitter at Property Doc NG. Today we'll be talking about managing our buildings during this Harmattan season. The weather is changing gradually. The adage that says when the music changes, you need to change your dance steps. When you do that, you observe that you will not complain or feel sad or feel bad. Nigeria is our home, and we are seeing the signs of the Harmattan season right now, the dry season, the Harmattan season in other places and other parts of the world is called maybe winter or the fall. The idea is to show some love to your building because during this period we really appreciate what the buildings are meant for more than other times. It's not as if we do not face other challenges with the other weather conditions other times too, but during this period we really need to make sure that we enjoy our buildings. We do not have enough visibility during this period. The weather is harsh and dry because we do not have the raining season in place in some areas. Well, let us look at the topic of today, which is talking about managing our buildings during this Harmattan season. You know, charity begins at home. So love begins from our homes. Showing love to our homes is one of the first things that we need to do. So what do we do and where do we start from? We need to start from Nigeria, Africa, that is our continent. The dry and the Harmattan season begins from around December and it usually peaks in maybe around January or by end of February. That's when it normally, goes down. But during this period, you find out that the country's skyline has a thick blanket of fluffy, maybe fine airborne particles all around. So you notice that it affects even the skin, the bodies, the structures, the buildings, and so on. Because of, we see enough dust around during that period. We feel the dry and the harsh weather as well. And these things affect the exterior part of our building. And sometimes it slowly creeps into the building. Just like we protect our skin and our bodies, we need to protect our buildings as well. Now let's look at the preventive maintenance aspect by looking at those things that we should do before the Harmattan season during construction, or maybe when you are putting your building together, maybe during the design stage. Any part of the building that is exposed to the external part or to the outside should be protected. The building or the facility is mostly affected outside. We look at those things that can be affected. We look at the doors, the windows, you look at the walls, the roofs, the paint, anything made of wood, and so many other things, even aluminum profile. All these things can be affected if they are not taken care of properly. Many other materials that we use on our exterior part of the building or the wall, like the wall, has both the interior and the exterior part of it. You can have the wall inside and you also have it outside. So if you have a window, you notice that the window is both in and out of the building. These things we need to take care of them properly. Let's look at the wall, for instance. For you to protect your wall, most of the time you find out that we use guardrails and so on. But we want to talk about the wall and look at the wall, protecting the wall from general external damage during the Harmattan season, and with most reference to the weather. When you look at wall protection, primarily it's used in healthcare environments or schools or walls of property. Generally you prevent scratches, dents to the wall, or anything that will compromise the structure or the interior aesthetics of the wall or the building. And if you want to protect it, you have to incorporate handrails, maybe crash rails, corner guards or rigid sheets into the building or the structure to protect the wall. Now, let's look at the wall. We've been talking about wall. What is this wall made of? It's made of concrete, maybe blocks, bricks, wood, boards, steel, and so many other items. These walls made from concrete can be made from, the usual aggregates that we talk about, the coarse and the fine aggregates like gravel and the sand. You are talking about water, cement, and so many other additives that can be added to make the concrete. It's good to teach or to remind users of buildings to avoid touching the walls or spitting on the walls, peeing on the walls, writing on the walls, and so on. Especially maybe our children, prevent them from writing on the walls. When you do any of these things, it can affect the walls. You can compromise its strength, its beauty. You can also compromise the durability and many other things, and you make the wall not to last long. Walls, especially, are the major part of the exterior part of the building, and they have their own challenges. It faces dust, harsh weather, dry season, rising damp, and even accidental impact on the wall. If you want to make your wall to last long, you need to think about the maintenance of the walls during construction, right from the construction, to prevent, the first thing is the rising damp. If you don't do that during construction, you may have problems on the walls. You find out that you have rising damp on the wall, that is water just slowly and gently rising on the wall. You can watch a video on treating rising damp on the wall. This will prevent salt and other harsh chemicals from entering into the wall from the soil. You can use tiles also on the exterior part of the building. This can be cleaned easily. If there's dust on it or stains, you can just clean the tiles by just wiping with the tiles with maybe cloth and clean water, possibly with soap. And it's also very important to use good quality paints when painting the exterior part of the wall. The paint you use on the exterior part is different from the paint you use on the interior part of your building. So use PD paints to save yourself stress of repainting often and on. You can use the paint that you can clean easily to make the buildings appear bright and beautiful. You can also use cladding on your walls, and when you use cladding, you can also clean the cladding, just like I talked about the glass. You can clean the cladding to make it bright as well. This will help you save time and save money and keep yourself from the stress of the maintenance of your building. Whatever your choice is, you plan your maintenance during construction. It's cheaper and it's better. If you're still there, please click on the like button if you're enjoying this video, and you can also subscribe to this channel. I assure you will learn a lot of tips on how to manage your buildings, because buildings are very important, and shelter is another important thing that man needs to survive on this planet Earth. Another problem that you might face during this season is maybe having excessive moisture from the building itself, or maybe you have to replace leaky taps or faulty pipes. When it's on the exterior part during this season, you find out that all these things come up very clear. So the exterior is very important. Some of us have trees or gardens in our homes, and they are supposed to make the environment look beautiful. So take care of your trees, take care of your gardens, and don't allow your leaves to be too to be dry, not even too dry, not to be dry at all. You know, we talked about leaky taps and leaky pipes. You fix those ones also so that the taps will be fixed properly. They're not leaking to put water on the exterior part of the building. You sometimes have wooden doors or windows. Some people have steel doors in their homes. If you have wooden doors or wooden windows, make sure that during construction you buy wood that has been treated properly to prevent the wood from shrinking or from warping or bending. If any of this happen, you find that it distorts the view of the building, and you can have unwanted guests entering your building from these areas, maybe that has shrunk during the Harmattan season. But if you have that problem, just get a carpenter to fill up the space and cover the holes where you have any space or gap within the wall and the doors. You can use glass maybe on the external part during construction, or maybe you chose to use glass. If you use glass, you need to clean the glass with good cleaning agents to make sure it remains clean, clear, and easy to see through, and at the same time doing its own purpose. Or you can just use water if you don't have any oil stain, if you don't have any stain at all on the glass, and maybe just dust. You can just use water to clean it off. Just make sure that you clean off the glass that is making it look clear. If not, it will look very dirty and make the home look old or ugly. Now, if we're talking about just mortar on the wall, during construction, you need to use good mixture of mortar, that is the cement and the sand and water, to plaster the wall. If you don't do that, you find out that you have cracks on our walls. You make sure that you use good quality mortar to plaster the wall to prevent crack. You can also watch our video on fixing crack on our walls to get some ideas and make sure that your walls are looking very good. You see, if you don't manage this aspect of the wall very well, it will affect the building during the Harmattan season or during the dry season. Other types of maintenance tips you may need to repair, maybe broken tiles. If you have broken tiles or broken glass, replace those things on time. I pray you have enough money. Some people say they don't have money to do that, but I pray you have money to replace those things to make your building look good all the time. Thank you for being with us today on this episode of Property Doctor. I hope you learned something today. You can send a message to us to let us know your opinion in managing our buildings during the Harmattan season or dry season. We hope to see you same time next week. Until then, remain blessed and bye.
I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, the budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs.